G'day YouTube, Quacker John here. Today I'm discussing the extra horsepower on my Vulcan SE and the mystery of the 4-pin plug. When I bought my 2020 Kawasaki Vulcan SE, it was a restricted lambs motorbike. That is, the horsepower of the engine was limited to be a learner-approved motorbike by the government. The stock Vulcan S in Australia had the stock exhaust and the throttle stop bolt that limited the horsepower of the Vulcan S to 45 horsepower. I then bought the aftermarket Street Series GP Mazzara exhaust for my Vulcan SE, and it added about 5 horsepower to my bike's performance. So now my Vulcan SE had 50 horsepower. I then de-restricted my Vulcan SE by removing the throttle stop bolt, and by doing so I had the full throttle available instead of being limited to just 70% of the throttle. This added 16 more horsepower to the engine for a total now of 65 horsepower for my Vulcan SE. This is about 50% more horsepower for my Vulcan SE than the stock bike. A huge difference. Now about the 4-pin plug that some people recommend removing when de-restricting the Vulcan S. The 4-pin plug is located behind the panel on the left-hand side of the bike under the seat. And here is some footage showing where the 4-pin plug is located. There we go. Now there is a 4-pin plug here. Now there are a lot of opinions about this 4-pin plug on YouTube, but this is the latest information that I have from 2 different Kawasaki dealers here in Brisbane, Australia. Firstly, we know that the American Vulcan S 4-pin plug is different to the Australian Vulcan S 4-pin plug. The Australian 4-pin plug has an additional wire attached to it. Now, when I contacted my Kawasaki dealer, he told me that they do not touch the 4-pin plug when they de-restrict the Vulcan S bikes. And the second Kawasaki dealer that I spoke to was more forthcoming with information. He said the 4-pin plug is a diagnostic plug and not to touch it. He said that the wire attached to the plug does nothing. He said they dyno tested the bike without the wire on the 4-pin plug and it did nothing. So there you have it, from 2 different Kawasaki dealers. I would definitely recommend not touching the 4-pin plug when de-restricting your Vulcan S. My Vulcan SE has the extra horsepower and is performing well without touching the 4-pin plug. I'll drop it back to second. Oh, that's nice stretched ahead. Oh, she was up to 8,000 revs before I even realised it. A few drops of rain. I've never had my bike up to 8,000 revs, so
I've had it only up to 7,000 revs. It redlines at 9,500, and before I even realised it, it was up to almost 8,000 revs. So that's a fair indication of the increased acceleration.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel. The Quacker John Vulcan S show is on every Friday night at 10 PM Brisbane, Australia time. You are most welcome to join in. You are most welcome to join the Quacker John chat room, and the link for your invitation to join the chat room is in the comments under the video. I published a book called My Kawasaki Vulcan S Adventures, and it is available on the Amazon website. See ya!